do that hard intro.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, look like we live now, so just waiting for Bills to jump in, and we'll just go from there. Like I said, we're finally live. It took us long enough, right?
Actually, it took silent long enough.
Oh, shut up! Now you want to blame
We've
me?
been wanting to go live for quite some time now. So
hey, I'm not gonna lie. It pretty much is my fault. I'm not gonna lie because I've been pretty stubborn about it. I've been really stubborn, but
stubborn or scared?
No, not scared. Just stubborn. Just stubborn. What's up?
I thought the last thing you told me was that you was fearing that a live stream would get hijacked, like the last few were like what, last year or something like that.
Like we saw other people get hijacked and whatever. I didn't.
Yeah, the Center Standard got hijacked, Weapon Wheel got hijacked, and I remember there was a couple of other people that their live streams got hijacked. But hey,
yeah, they did their own personal live stream and ended up getting hijacked. Yeah, exactly. And I really didn't want to deal with that, but I think us three together, we're able to deal with that. If anyone wants to come in and try to be a troll or whatever, we know how to deal with that. And I'm pretty sure nobody in here is going to give out the link. That's pretty cool. So,
well, Bills, NYK is in the chat.
Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, but NYK is here. I saw him in the chat. What's up, Kia? Knew we were gonna see you somewhere. Cool. But anyway, this is First and Framerates episode number 50. This is the 50th. Yeah, we finally made it to episode number 50, and to commemorate episode 50, we were going to go ahead and jump in and do a live stream. And if things go well, this possibly could be what we do from here on out. Obviously, we're still on SoundCloud. We're still on iTunes. I'm in the process of getting on Spotify and Stitcher. And if you're new to the live stream, this is to the podcast. We basically go in and talk about sports and sports gaming, and we pretty much speak our mind about what the main topics are or topics that we feel that are important to us. Roger that. What's going on? Appreciate you stepping in and coming through the podcast. We also try to just pretty much just keep it real. We just try to do our own thing and just try to be unique in that way. We don't have any agendas. We don't have anything that we're trying to push. At the end of the day, we just want to talk about what's going on in the realm of sports and sports gaming. Also, we want to talk about how we feel about certain topics that maybe veer off outside of those two. We're going to have a live Q&A. So if anybody wants to come through and pretty much in the chat, put a question out there and we'll just talk about that. But we do have a few topics. If you can see in the title, we're going to talk about these current NFL playoffs, what happened this week and the week coming up. We're also going to talk about the college football championship game, which I didn't really watch. And I wish I would have watched it because it was kind of, interesting to see Alabama play kind of off their game. And we're just going to ad-lib other things that come to our mind as far as other topics. I have one. We'll talk about that one later. And I'm pretty sure DJ and Bills have a topic as well. Just let everybody know, man. Bills, what's going on with you and how was your weekend?
My weekend was good. I started it on Friday by doing a show, so that was good.
Okay, that's good.
Show went well. No footage included because, there was nobody in that drunk-ass bar that I trusted to record my video, and the only other person that I knew was there was my vocal coach, but they had a good showing there. There was a lot of people, so it was fun. And then, of course, Sunday you had the playoff games, which were good. And, my weekend was pretty good.
All right, that's cool. What about you, DJ? How's everything going for you?
Well, minus not seeing my team in the playoffs and minus kind of watching the national championship as I was getting home from work. Those were interesting games this past weekend. Very interesting, very strange endings to a bunch of them. And that national championship, doozy. But other than that, I was okay. I rested most of the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I was off for Sunday, so I did catch those games. Saturday, I came in late, and I watched those games on the back end. But to me personally, even though the Falcons aren't in the playoffs, I actually enjoyed every single game that was played. I think they were really good. We got to see a rookie quarterback actually try to will his team back. I think at the end of the day, he was a little bit overwhelmed. Lamar Jackson did the best that he could, and I'm actually was proud of him. Dallas, I'm actually surprised that they actually played as well as they did. I think everything else pretty much follows suit. I didn't think that Chicago would beat the Eagles after the way they finished the regular season, but the way that they lost, that got to be a tough one, because I mean I thought they were going to be able to make some noise, but the way that the Eagles were playing, I really thought that they was gonna catch an L, but the way they lost was like that was terrible. That's crazy. I don't know, but the national championship game, I told myself when I got home, I didn't have any interest in. I had no interest in watching it because of the two teams that was in it. Like I've seen the story before, but I got up the next day to go to work and I saw that score. I was like, "Whoa, what the hell's going on?" And that I was actually surprised at that. So I had to go back and watch the game, and basically Nick Saban just got outplayed, outcoached, and outsmarted all at one time. I was actually surprised at that. So we're just going to dive into some of these games, and actually we're going to have our thoughts about all of that. Before we get started, like I said earlier, in the Nectar Mod review, which you can check that out as well, I did say that we're going to have a giveaway. I have a couple of I have one PSN card, and I also have one Xbox Live card. So the way that we're going to do it just basically is just going to be random, or if us three of us just pick out one, and I don't have a dog in the fight of who I want to get a card or whatever. I'm just going to leave it up to you guys. Y'all can pick one apiece sometime, just at any time of the live stream, like whatever. Get their Twitter information, and I'll send out the code for them to get it. Okay. Both cards are for $20. I wanted to start off low. I didn't want to go too high because I didn't know what the community would be like in this chat. I didn't want to throw something out there and then nobody shows up, and then I'm just sitting there with a bunch of cards that I'm gonna have to pass off to my guys right here. So that's basically how that's going to work. So other than that, everything's good. What topics you guys want to start off with? And while we're talking these topics, please put your questions in the chat, and whatever we'll try to get to them is while we're going on in with these topics. The first one I know I see is like, what equipment do I need for Madden 19 on the PC with the Nectar mod? Basically, you just need a PC and go to the forum on Operation Sports. If you got those two things, you're good. Then just follow the directions, or you can just look at my video in the installation of the mod. Everything is right there, so you're good there. So outside of that, what topic y'all want to start off with?
I would say we can go more in depth on the national championship game.
Okay.
First.
Okay.
Because there was a lot to talk about in that game. I think the first thing that I noticed was that Alabama wasn't nearly as dominant up front this year as they have been in past years. And even with Clemson missing their best pass rusher in Dexter Lawrence and their best defensive player, period, they still seem to get a lot of pressure on Tua at times. And as far as defensively is concerned, their cornerbacks were getting exposed, and Saban didn't seem to change the game plan because they continue to run man. They continue to get picked apart. And, Trevor Lawrence is for real. I mean,
that kid is playing very well.
He's for real.
Oh, man, Del Monte, man. I haven't seen that guy in years. What's up, Del Monte?
Pop up, too.
Yeah, I haven't heard from that guy in years. Appreciate you coming through.
Yeah,
but as far as on Trevor Lawrence, I mean, you talk about the maturation of a quarterback. This guy has actually grown in one season. 19 years old. He's a true freshman. We got to see him with Georgia Southern. When I watched them play that game, we actually got to see him play. And no, he was pretty good. And Georgia Southern defense is actually way better than advertised. We held them to 38 points, but we saw him once we knocked Kelly Bryant out the game. We got to see him play, and from there, it's just basically he took off. And from that game when I first saw him until now, it's like almost a totally different quarterback. I think like easily, he could be the #1 quarterback in college right next year. And if he could have went out and went into the pros, he probably would have been a first-round pick. I mean, he has the size. He's a little bit skinny, but it looks like he knows what he's doing. Do I think he should go in the first round? No, because we're basically looking at it based on what we're looking at this championship game. But on the fly, I think he'll be. I'll put it like this. I think
he's a freshman, right?
Huh? Yeah, he's a true freshman.
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be a couple of years.
Yeah, it's gonna be a couple of years, and I think what I remember, like a lot of people like kind of pulling the string on him a little bit because they know it's gonna take some time, and they're not trying to have him jump the gun like Cardell Jones. He's another guy that I know that played a few games and he was ready to throw him into the pros, and we haven't heard from him since.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
What are your thoughts about the blowout that Alabama suffered, DJ?
Well, seeing that I haven't really been interested in the national championship in quite some time, knowing that the same teams are playing each other all the time.
Right.
This one in particular was funny because a lot of Alabama fans were really salty afterwards. But the thing is, for me, in my view, I'm a Florida State guy. And it's like, I don't know what you guys are crying about. You're just going to be back there next year. And it's not like it's the first time they've lost in the national championship. The last time they lost, didn't they get blown out in that one too? And no, that was the loss to Clemson. My fault.
Yeah, that was the Deshaun Watson game.
Yep. They actually showed it. It was just because it was that rub route that it was a beautiful rub route, by the way, on that one back in 2016. So it's not the first time Alabama's been beat, and it won't be the last time, but it also won't be the last time you see Alabama in the national championship.
Nah, they got the #1 recruiting class this year. Yeah, they have the #1 recruiting class this year. These dudes will probably be right back.
Mm-hmm. I think I was a week off 2 weeks off in my prediction about the Alabama and Oklahoma situation because I remember in that Sugar Bowl, I keep harkening back to that, but that year everybody was like, well, Alabama should be in the national championship. It's like, all right, well, prove it. Y'all lost to Auburn or whoever it was they lost to that year.
Right.
And then they got to that game against Oklahoma. They got smoked. This game kind of went the same way.
And you know what? Mm-hmm. And honestly, if but if Oklahoma was really on their P's and Q's in that last game, they could have beat Alabama. They just decided to wake up at the second half.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, Alabama. A lot of people talking about this team was like #1 team or the best college team ever assembled.
No.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it all year, honestly, because when the Citadel of all teams are holding you to 10 points in the first half, and you see other teams that are like pretty much, and I know this sounds crazy, but when you have teams that are, they're losing to you by like 20 points, it doesn't seem like you're the greatest team assembled. It's like, you can make the case where like the Miami Hurricanes of 2001 was just amazing. And
the Miami Hurricanes will wipe the floor with this Alabama team.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I think other Alabama teams will wipe the floor with this Alabama team. So
yeah. I mean, my thing is like right now, and I know it's a lot of turmoil with this program right now. I doubt if these teams will play next year, but I would love to see Trevor Lawrence versus Jake Fromm. I think that would be a fantastic football game if they was to play like sometime within the next year or two. Because those two quarterbacks right now in college, those are only two. Even though Tua, he has a great arm, but he pretty much got exposed this year. I think he got it. I ain't gonna say this year, but he got exposed like in the last 3 or 4 games. And
I have a question for y'all. So, based off of this game, Colin Cowherd was talking about Trevor Lawrence, and he said he always says off the wall stuff, but This this statement that he made kind of made me think. He said that Trevor Lawrence is the third best quarterback prospect out of college that he had seen. Now, I'll say this. I think Andrew Luck was the best one that I've seen in my lifetime, just personally watching football. Mm-hmm. I know there have been better before him, but in my lifetime, Andrew Luck was it. I think Trevor Lawrence would be the best one since Andrew Luck. I don't know about the third ever, though. That's a bit of a stretch.
I mean, as far as college quarterbacks, I mean, all right, let's think about this. If you're talking about a pro-style quarterback, I can put them 1 and 2. But like in college, it's totally different because one of the great things about college quarterbacks is that they're kind of like a utility type player. They do everything. You know, some college quarterbacks run, they pass. Hell, you even had one that used to do a jump pass, do all kind of crazy stuff in college. But as far as like a pro style, I mean, you're looking at guys like a Trevor Lawrence, or you're looking at like a Andrew Luck. You could talk about Aaron Murray when he was at Georgia. You know,
I think Josh Rosen has to be high on that list.
Yeah, exactly. Josh Rosen's another one because it's like you don't see. I think within the last 7, maybe 8 years, you finally start to see like pro style offenses in college. And that's where you get to see the talent of a quarterback that uses his brain and his arm to, you actually see a quarterback use his mind and his arm to actually be successful, but prior to that, you had your Tim Tebow's, your Tommy Frazier's, your Charlie Ward's and T Martin's. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying that I'm not saying it's a bad thing on either side, but when you look at the best college quarterback, you're going to have people that come up and start to say, well, what about such and such? He ran for 1,400 yards as a quarterback as well. I was like, right. You know what I mean? But yeah. I mean, I'm with you 100% when you talk about like the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Like with Trevor Lawrence, like I said, Aaron Murray, Josh Rosen. You can even go as far back as Troy Aikman back in the day.
Sam Bradford.
Yeah, Sam Bradford. All those guys was like they're really good at.
Seemed like they're forgetting Peyton Manning.
Yeah, Peyton Manning.
Carson Palmer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Carson Palmer. Man, that dude got a bad rap, didn't he?
That knee injury pretty much was a sign of.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that really messed him up out there. You're right. Let me see. What real quick? Bastion, he's all the way from Norway, Scandinavia. Here's listening to us. I really appreciate that. I mean, look, guys, we're already worldwide in our first episode.
I know, right? I guess somebody else doing pre-recorded videos isn't worldwide just yet. So, but
oh, come on, man.
Oh, here we go. Neff
hey,
one,
we gotta do
thank you for coming through, man. Neff is an OG, man. He's been around for a while.
Yeah, you got Neff out there still saying N-word.
But yeah, even that Nectar mod is nice, man. I really wish Bills had the chance to jump on it and play it. It's really good. I mean, I think those guys who did that mod did a fantastic job. And
somebody come donate this man a PC.
I know we might need to set up a Patreon.
Man, right? Even if y'all did, I probably wouldn't have time to play it anyway. So it wouldn't even matter at that point. So
and it's funny, even to go beyond the Nectar mod, I actually got a chance to play the NCAA demo mod.
Okay.
Okay. How did that? Yeah. How was that? Because I haven't touched it yet.
Oh, the visuals as far as like because it was basically the Clemson versus Alabama national championship demo. Yeah. Okay. The visuals are good. They made sure, and there's a roster that you have to download from the roster community files to be able to match the players with the. So it's a combination of the mod and the roster file that you have to get those two to work. Other than that, I think the two teams that they modded over were the Chicago Bears and I forgot what the other team was. And the Denver Broncos.
Okay.
Were the two teams that they modded over.
Now, see, my thing about it is I love the fact that they're doing the college teams. But my only thing about that is I don't want to do a bunch of play nows if I play it. And I know a lot. I think what they've done now, they're actually using 32 teams and trying to set it up as if they're playing those 32 college teams in a college football setting. I think it's cool, but I really would love to see just another NCAA game. I mean, I love NCAA 14, but we really need another NCAA game.
But the other thing about that demo mod, they also have the ball plate, the hash marks, college rolled hash marks. So their placement is on spot with college as far as like being wide to the left and wide to the right along with the hash marks. So they threw that in there in the demo as well.
Okay, that's interesting. That's cool.
Oh, look who we got. We got Smitty in the building.
Yeah, no problem, Bastion, man. What's up, Smitty? Yeah, well, he's another guy that
What on, Smitty?
Always I guess he's an unofficial member of first. Oh no, unofficial. No, he's a unofficial member of NWO. That's what
he's an official member of NWO.
I'm about to say unofficial. Listen, I don't try to cut people out. You try to treat him like Disco Inferno or something?
Like he's Buff Bagwell. We just threw him in or something like that.
Yeah, I don't do the recruiting. I'm just here making the jokes. I don't do the.
And bad at them.
Damn, treat Smitty like some throwaway or something.
No,
don't worry about Smitty.
Throwaway, man. I mean, listen, him and everybody else down at the Sim Standard, man, they're the ones that they the one that pretty much inspired all of us to do what we do now in some way. You know, I mean, without the Sim Standard, I mean, hell, we probably wouldn't be talking about this stuff around here.
And speaking of which, we'll throw this out there because I do remember dates. It seems like we're coming up on the 8-year anniversary of when all this really started to pick up.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah, come February, I think February is when it really started kicking off. I know at least it started off for me, like as far as making videos like hardcore and stuff like that. But yeah, we're coming up on
this was sometime after the Ian Cummings interview, sometime around that year.
Right.
So yeah,
that sounds about right. Hey, man, time flies, man. 8 years. Yeah, man, that's crazy. Sim Standard got together, Save 65 started. It's just time flies. But you know what? With that comes is just a lot of things change on top of that as far as just trying to evolve and try to make a difference in whatever way you can. And I think with the guys at SFL, I always think about them. When I look at them, I always think about what they do, or like what Neff One has done with his end with as far as football gaming. It's like it seems like where the situation lies with Madden and the exclusive license, and with us, especially with NWO, what we've done, we decided to try to make the most out of what game is out there and just try to make it the best possible for us. We're not trying to. I think after a couple of years, I think the bashing and the Save 65 and I think that kind of got a little old where we just want to look, we just want to play games and have fun. We want a simulation experience and have fun. And I think that's where we pretty much just took off from there. And I think that's where other branches of the community has done as well.
And boy, oh boy, were we bashed for that.
Yeah, I'm not going to go there. 2015 was great, right?
That was a crazy year. It just seemed like everybody just went after one another. And it was just like, and then somebody just had to go off the deep end and just say something stupid.
Oh boy.
So it's just like,
several times.
So several times.
We had videos made about us.
Right. Bastion, man, I'm glad that you actually listen to us, man. I mean, they only talk about soccer over there. I know it gets old, but football.
You gotta tell VF. You gotta tell VF to get on the soccer wave
too. Come on.
Hey man, that man say he tired of listening to soccer, man. Look, I had my experience with soccer late last month, and I'm good, man. I watched my little 20 minutes.
Yeah,
of soccer.
We already went through that.
Got VF popping up.
Did you find out who was on that team?
Man, I have no idea who's on that team. Not at all. Hey, I will say those soccer jerseys look nice with the black and red. They look pretty dope. But I don't know nobody on
with the women's approach to the NFL football.
Yeah, that's exactly. I will take that.
Nice.
I will take that. I'm not gonna lie. I'll take that because I don't know. It's not that I don't want to know. It's just that when I try to get into it, I'm not saying it's boring. It just don't interest me because actually watching it was actually pretty exciting. But I'm like, I grew up not knowing nothing about soccer. I guess I'm just conditioned to think of soccer as a secondary sport.
The first time I got into soccer, this was like the PS1 days when they were putting out David Beckham soccer. I started playing the video game, and I never really watched soccer, but I wanted to get better at the game. That's really the only reason I started watching soccer, and I started liking it. But I mean, it took a while because it was kind of boring. It was like all I had heard about soccer was that they play for 90 minutes, nobody scores, and they go home and
right,
have a pint together. You know what I'm saying? It's like so, but a lot of the misconceptions about soccer come from folks who have only watched it 1 or 2 times and they think it's boring because they don't see a lot of scoring. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to see a lot of scoring, then watch basketball.
Yeah.
If you want to see strategy and a team really try to strategically move the ball up and down the field, then you watch soccer.
See, that's the thing. I thought it was actually interesting because I actually saw that the little bit of times I was watching it. It wasn't just people just running down, what they call it, the pitch. Yeah, they call it the pitch. It's like I see them actually standing around and actually setting up plays, and I thought that was interesting because most sports I know they use their hands, and they were actually very fluid with using their feet with the ball. I was like, wow, this. But I just thought it was very interesting how they was actually trying to set up plays to score. It wasn't just running up and down the pitch and just trying to kick the ball. I thought it was pretty cool.
I will say hockey and soccer, their players have more of an understanding of position than any other sport.
Yeah, now that sport, I got into that sport, and I'm actually glad that DJ got me into watching hockey. I actually love watching hockey, and I appreciate that, DJ. Neff1 said real quick. I'm gonna let you get in. Neff1 said Madden 19 without the mod is Madden 18. Do y'all guys agree?
No. I could understand why you're saying it because the patches have gotten it closer to Madden 18 as the years gone on, but I still think there's a lot of Madden 19 in there.
No, that first couple of weeks of Madden 19, it was a totally different game. It was a totally different game from Madden 18.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Bastion says he got into Madden back in 2003 and didn't know anything about it, but he's been a fan ever since. And if you had to pick a team, it became the New Orleans Saints. Falcons fans Madden 03 was a really good game.
That's when the competition was lively. It was really just about
NFL Madden. NFL 2K3 and Madden 03, it was hot.
And as much as I hated those other ones, wait a minute, hold up. But as much as I hated those other ones, you had Game Day, you had there was another one that was out.
Was Fever out then?
Yeah, Fever 03 was out. Yep. Man, that game had so much potential, bro.
Oh, and NCAA was good that year too.
Yeah, NCAA was
good. Oh yeah, definitely. You had the NCAAs and everything. Yeah, great.
I remember Madden 03. Yeah, Madden 03 was the first game that had the different type of passes, and I don't even think they even have it in the game anymore. Where the quarterbacks had the sideline passes. I mean, the sidearm passes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they had Rich Gannon. They had the sidearm passes. And they actually had different catch. They started putting catch animations that was a little bit different because I remember the swing passes had different catch animations compared to 2002. Also with 2K3, that's when they actually started putting the faces of the players on their bodies. Where I remember they had Edgar and James used to have his gold teeth and
that was crazy.
Yeah, and Randy Moss actually looked like Randy Moss. I mean, the players look phenomenal in 2K3.
Yo, let me tell you something. Since we're talking about 2K, people talk a lot about Bo Jackson and other people that were dominant in video games. People sleep on Randy Moss in 2K2. That man was unstoppable.
No. Let me tell you one thing they did about 2K games in general. Like from 2K, the original 2K to like 2K2. The person who was on the cover, Allen Iverson and Randy Moss, them dudes was like unstoppable.
Allen Iverson,
that was
but Randy Moss was no joke in 2K2, absolutely,
bro. It was insane.
Yeah, I still think Bo Jackson was like the ultimate cheat code. I mean, Tecmo Bowl, Bo Jackson was just unbelievable.
Well, you had Bo Jackson, Walter Payton, Marcus Allen.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out some other running backs, but even so, I'm like, if you played at San Francisco. at wide receiver, Jerry Rice.
Yep.
Roger Craig was.
I remember Ronnie Lott was like a beast in that game.
Yeah,
Ronnie Lott was a
you
beast.
Get around him.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, back in NFL 2K5, the team I could never beat was the damn Dolphins, bro. Back when they had Chris Chambers and Ricky Williams, that defense was stacked. Yeah.
Let me tell you who they had on that team, because I got a franchise of the Dolphins on my 360 version of 2K5, because I still play the original Xbox, but I got a franchise file on my 360, and on that I was playing with the Dolphins. Yo, they had Jay Fiedler at quarterback. He's a nobody, but let me tell you, they had Chris Chambers, they had David Boston, Ricky Williams, Sam Madison on one end, Patrick Surtain on the other end, Brock Marion at safety, Zach Thomas.
Damn, Brock Marion, good grief.
Yeah, they had Zach Thomas at linebacker. I mean, that team was fucking stacked. Who else you said, Bills?
Jason Taylor.
Yeah, Jason Taylor was a defensive end. That team was like really nasty in 2K5. Oh yeah, it was crazy.
But going back to Madden for a second, that tour bus that they had to teach you how to play the game was something that was very innovative, but at the same time very helpful. I mean, you had the quarterback presence drill, you had the running back drill where you had to run through, run in between the little whatever the hell you call them. And then they had one linebacker and one lineman on the opposite side. Then they had the accuracy drill with the rings. I mean, yeah, it was. I used to love that.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think that with the way Madden is set up now, I think they could implement those things back in to where I know what they did with Skills Trainer, but we know how Skills Trainer work. If you play Skills Trainer, it is set up for you to be successful to get the gold or the silver medal. But back then, when you had training, you just, you actually had to earn it by not necessarily not knowing what you were doing. It was a lot tougher than what it was. And I think that's, with that, they need to get back to that. And I actually like some of the skills that they had when you had like in the pocket and, DB SWAT, route running. I really wish they would go back to stuff like that.
Roger Dad asks, do I have to use the sliders they made for the Nectar mod in Operation Sports?
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely recommend using the sliders. I would up the tackling sliders.
Yeah, I was going to say VF did mention that.
Yeah, because the tackling 11 and those running back or whoever gets the ball, they will break like 20 tackles. So I recommend to move it up to 20. I know Sim F Ball moved it up to 25, but I found that when you move it up to 25, you get a little bit more shifting, like they were shifting the place to tackle. I think between 18 and 20 is that sweet spot where the tackles are legit and you actually get 3-4 man tackles that it don't seem like it's pro tack. So I think moving it up to about 18 or 20 is good.
Now
Bastion said he loved the Saints jerseys. Yeah, the Saints jerseys are nice. I'm not a fan of the Saints. I mean, it's been a long time rivalry, but I do respect the team that they put together since Drew Brees got there. I really, yeah. And what you about to say, DJ?
Oh, yeah. I was going to rewind it back to the part that I know everybody was talking about their sports, the gaming history and stuff like that. I know, when I was introduced to sports, I know everybody's usually introduced to sports at a young age, and usually it's like 1 or 2. I know where I grew up in Columbia, Maryland, I was introduced to every sport. I was introduced to soccer, of course, the traditional sports, football, basketball, and I played baseball. Also was introduced to hockey, played team handball, played tennis, fenced a little bit. I was like,
you did fencing?
Everything was going my. Yeah, fencing. Yeah, I was pretty good at it too. They just kept it at the middle school level though.
I remember when I moved. I did my 10th grade year of high school in Topeka, Kansas, and they had fencing, and I wanted no part of it. I watched it, but I was good. And we also played badminton too. That is a really good sport. Badminton is a good sport. I actually
played badminton too.
I used to play that shit in gym class. I hated that damn game. Man, I'm not gonna lie.
What was wrong with it? Like, what happened?
It was.
You get embarrassed?
Maybe
is that what happened?
Not at all. No, what it was the people I was playing with weren't interested in it, so the shit wasn't fun because I would get stuck on a team with somebody that was garbage, and then it wouldn't be fun. It was like volleyball. You get all the athletic kids on one team, you get the little stumpy, unathletic, I don't want to be in gym class kids on the other team, and then you're like, fuck, I hate volleyball. We always lose. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I know somebody in the chat just said, is it okay to put it on sim or comp? I will tell you right now, with simulation mode, you can put it on either one, but with competitive mode, you get more of responsiveness with the stick skills. In other words, if you throw the ball, and you like to lead the pass with the left stick, you'll get more responsiveness. Also, yeah, and that's also the trade-off. If you don't play good defense, comp does have more bigger plays. So it kind of depends on how you want to play. If you want that more control with the passing or the running or whatever, it's more leaning towards that. I think the sliders in general are more leaning towards competition. So because I think they want you to have more control with the controller, but with sim, it draws it back a bit where you don't have that much control. But yeah, either one is fine though. You still get basically the same results at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
I was gonna ask. Via, did you play? I know DJ played baseball when he was younger. I did too. Did you play baseball when you were younger?
Oh yeah. I played baseball. I played center field, and I played a little bit of right field too.
Oh, so they stuck you in the outfield for the typical reason?
Yeah, I mean, I was fast and I could catch, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do that to us, but they didn't do that to me.
I just remember one time I tried. Well, I was gonna say I just remember one time I tried to pitch. That was the only position I couldn't play.
Yeah. The coach gave us all a chance to try out in any spot that we wanted to, and it was pitching wasn't my thing. Like I could control my pitch, but I pitched slow, so it wouldn't work out. So I mean, like I was
the opposite. I could pitch fast as hell.
I had one hell of a changeup, but I couldn't throw a fastball to save my life. So I was like, nah, I'm good. And then they already knew when I was playing football. They knew that I mostly played wide receiver when I was coming up, but when I actually got the helmet on and started playing with the pads, they put me at DB because I was short. But they always knew I had hands. They knew I could catch, and I was pretty quick, so they put me in the outfield.
It's crazy because it seemed like in my generation for football, like it was popular to play, like in Pop Warner, it was popular to play receiver. But then by the time I got to high school, everybody wanted to be a running back.
Yeah.
So I ended up being a running back.
You know what's funny? Originally, I was brought up to be a running back and turned into a wide receiver.
I was strict wide receiver till they found out I wasn't gonna grow anymore. Like I was like,
and aren't you taller than me?
Huh?
And aren't you taller than me?
I'm 5'10".
Oh, we're the same height then.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm the same height.
Oh, I figured some of y'all were taller than me in the community. I know
Simmons pretty tall, right?
Playing receiver.
I'm not sure. I think Smitty has some height on him, but
Smitty's tall, yeah.
Yeah, but Smitty wasn't on a football field.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, my God.
Anyway,
now we're
talking about football players. Come on, bring up Smitty for.
Spectacular Pooh said
Smitty was tall.
And I agree.
Was I a skinny running back? I wasn't one of those muscle heads, but I definitely wasn't skinny. Nah, I didn't like lifting weights, so I turned out to be just like an average size, probably like a Le'Veon Bell type.
Yeah, they knew I could catch. I went out there to play wide receiver, and then they realized that they had other receivers that were taller than me. So they basically put me in defensive back, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah, I remember you had that picture on your Twitter as always as a DB. So I didn't know you played. Well, I think you played receiver probably at a younger age.
Yeah, because I was like one of the only guys in the neighborhood that can actually catch. I mean, like I'm not trying to brag, but I was blessed with really good hands. I can catch the football very well, but it's just that my coach was like, "Nah, you're not tall enough, and we're going to put you in. You need to play some defense and learn how to tackle a little bit." And I just stuck with it since then.
Kids in my high school were small. I ended up getting tried at outside linebacker, and I liked it. But the thing in high school is once they start running away from you,
it kind of sucks. Yeah, it's like the
really
same thing. I mean, by no means I know I wasn't a lockdown corner, but it got to a point where if I knew I had this guy, I knew that it was just going to be a long night because they wouldn't even throw my way. I think at the end of the day, I think I was like a fairly above average DB, but I knew I could have been a better receiver. But it's just that they never put me there.
You know what's funny? My path to eventually make it to wide receiver in high school, I actually started a game. I finished the game at quarterback. Had no experience playing quarterback. I wound up finishing a game and wound up being responsible for a score that won that game at quarterback, and then starting the next game and taking the L. And basically, I threw one touchdown pass off of a rollout screenplay. And then after that was just receiver. And then the thing about it is that when I transitioned over to receiver, they found out that one, I could run good routes, I had good hands, and I think I relied more on my quickness when I played. And eventually I wound up starting, and then we won a state championship. And guess who scored the game-winning touchdown? Me.
But that's the thing that sucks in high school is like they'll try you at a position and the shit'll work for one game, and then the next game they act like you're like a straight up fraud if you don't completely excel at that. Like it's crazy. It's like the first time I got tried at receiver, I was like, this is pretty easy. I run a slot route, just run a drag across the field, get the ball, and I can get back into my running back type style. That's what you said. What?
I hated slants.
I like drags. I didn't like slants either.
Yeah.
My head wasn't on a swivel like that at a young age, so I hate
G-Rob is in here. Hey,
G-Rob
what's up, G-Rob?
Yeah. Shout out to G-Rob, man. Shout out G-Rob. G-Rob's been down with my channel since the Joe Montana debacle.
Wait. Hold up. Neff, what?
Oh, yeah, you saw that? What he said? Yeah, I saw that.
Because you're an Indian Negro.
Negro, not even
Negro. What the
Christ? Oh, this man is on the hooch early tonight.
No,
G-Rob's been down with the Joe Montana situation.
I was expecting this. Thank you, Neff.
Boy, oh boy.
I don't know, man. Let's talk about these NFL playoffs, man. I mean, what stuck out to you guys? I mean, at the end of the day, I was actually impressed with the second half of Lamar Jackson because it looked like he could have been like, it could have got real ugly for him.
You want to go first, DJ? Go.
I'll say this about that Ravens game. Y'all, whoever's a Ravens fan that's in the chat, or whoever's a Ravens fan that may be listening to this later, fuck y'all.
Oh, damn.
How y'all going?
What's that all about, bro?
The boy that you called for, because you were calling for Joe Flacco at the halftime point of this game, when you were calling for Lamar Jackson before he even got drafted by your team, and then you were calling for him when Joe Flacco went 4-5. So why boo the man now? And then he basically stuck a middle finger to you guys and threw 2 touchdown passes. And if it wasn't for his line, possibly could have came back and won the games for you. But y'all want to turn on him.
Yeah, I agree. But let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. I give him a lot of props because any other quarterback, we're talking about even veteran quarterbacks, they would have easily folded, and that game would have got much worse than what it was. I mean, he came out with 40 yards passing at halftime or something like that. And he came back after halftime and they basically, he stuck it to him. He tried his best to get that team back. And it was like, what, a touchdown away of winning that game.
Yeah.
And I also give props to John Harbaugh for sticking with him, because any other situation, they would have probably did what Nick Saban did and just switch quarterbacks at the halftime. But
and there was a vicious rumor that was going around. Good thing I didn't take any credence in it, but it was saying that he had went to Jackson and went to Lamar and said, I was going to bench you. And I guess somebody said that they heard Lamar say, bench me? What? Is it because I'm black?
No, man.
Yeah, it wound up being a vicious rumor, but it
yeah, but I think I don't even think it was his decision, the coaches. I think it was the owner's decision to keep him in the game, That's me personally. I think it was the owner's decision.
I don't know that owner. I question, that whole letter business about the players kneeling after the last season to season ticket holders. So I wouldn't. No.
I get where you're coming from, but I think it was because of I think the organization in general. I think they're pretty much saying that they're not going to resign Joe Flacco. The future is Lamar Jackson, and if they would have pulled him at the halftime, I think it would have done damage to his growth. And you see how it turned out. I think it turned out great. I think Lamar Jackson is going to learn a lot from that second half alone, knowing that he was able to go back into the game and play.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Bills? I mean, not to take nothing away from you, DJ. I think you're probably right about that situation. I wouldn't be surprised, but that's what I was hearing from the owner. But I think it did tremendous help to Lamar Jackson's growth.
I agree with what Neff said. I think the Ravens came out flat, but I think if they put Flacco in it, they would have been even less inspired to play. I think they rallied around Lamar Jackson towards the end of the season, and I don't think those players truly get up to play for Joe Flacco. And we've seen it in the past with teams where if they don't believe in the quarterback under center, they don't come out like a ball of fire and say, we'll run through a wall from this guy.
I mean, case in point, I mean, look how Denver was when Tebow came in the game. The dude couldn't play quarterback worth the lick, but the rest of the team actually acts like they actually play like they believed in something.
Exactly. So I think, but as far as the game that stuck out to me, I think the Colts game, Colts are looking dangerous, man.
Man, Andrew Luck, man, comeback player of the year, hands down.
And I think he needs to get a lot more MVP consideration than he's getting.
As far as the term valuable, yes.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I think that Mahomes is the MVP as far as what they've done. As far as criteria is concerned, it's definitely Mahomes. All the past years.
Yeah, we talked about that last year, definitely.
Yeah. But I think that the Colts are very dangerous. I think they can definitely go in and pick apart the Chiefs. And I think Mahomes is going to need 30 points or more to beat them.
I said this back in episode 41 or episode 40. I've been saying this, like, the Steelers and the Chiefs, both teams look like fool's gold to me. They look like those would have been teams that are one and done. And based on what we see with the Steelers, it easily, if they would have gotten the playoffs, they would have got ramrodded by any of these teams that are in there right now, because these teams like they're ready to play, and the Steelers just look like a mess. And the Chiefs is the same way. I mean, they look good, they play pretty good football, but it's just something about that team just make me say, like, they're a one and done team in the playoffs, and it sucks, but that's just my gut feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
And especially with them, who they're playing coming up?
The Chiefs, they're playing the Colts.
They're playing the Colts. Yeah, they're playing the Colts. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The Chargers are playing the Patriots.
That's going to be.
I was gonna speak about that in a second, but I'll let y'all give y'all's thoughts on that first, if y'all want to.
Yeah, DJ, go ahead. What are your thoughts about this weekend in the playoffs?
Well, definitely I paid a special interest into it was only a few games out there. Mine goes blank after a while. But no, Bears Eagles. That was the game that was really funny, and all it did when it came down to it, it was all about, could the Bears defense stop Nick Foles? And the answer was no.
Hold on, before you start,
because that last drive could have been.
I get it, but do you think they really, either offense really got off on each one? I mean, we're talking about a 15-16 game.
But that's what I'm saying is that that's what it came down to at the end, because this game pretty much was even all the way through up until that point right there. When the Bears defense needed to step up, they were non-existent in that last drive, which Nick Foles picked them apart down the field. It's kind of easy to throw high to Alshon Jeffries because he's a big target, so they were throwing high. It was nothing that the Bears defensive backs could do.
I know G-Rod right now is probably ready to punch this fucking screen right now because he's
I'm sure he's ready to punch it, but his defense is mostly to blame. I'm like, and then we find out that the kicker, even though he missed, it was blocked, and they changed the score.
Yeah, that guy needs to get vindicated because a lot of people talking shit about that dude. They kind of found out that kick was tipped, so they need to get off that man.
I never get on kickers who sit on the sideline cold pretty much a whole game and then come out and are expected to win a game. And if they miss the kick, then it's like they're the worst person in the world. I never get on kickers for that. Yeah, that's just me personally.
I can agree with that because when you look at it from that perspective, everybody saying, "Yeah, you got one job." You're basically, I mean, what's the difference? Let's say if a quarterback got hurt on the last play of the game, or the play before the last play of the game, and the backup has to come in and throw a touchdown pass to win. You know, I mean.
Oh, you mean like what happened with Griffin and Cousins against the Ravens at the end of the 2012 season?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like the same thing, you know. But yeah, I mean, like what Pooh is saying right now is like he got vindicated, but they're sending death threats to him. I'm like, dude, I mean, I don't care if he missed the kick and it wasn't tipped. You shouldn't be sending death threats to anybody. You know,
team shouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
Right. It's not Parkey's fault that you got to go out there. He has to go out there and kick the damn field goal. Team should have been a little bit better, you know. But
all the defense had to do is make one stop. Just one stop.
All Trubisky had to do was put some damn points on the board. I mean, it goes both ways. The Bears defense has been carrying them all year.
Yeah, but come on.
Hey,
it really came down to the Bears defense holding up because that was going to be their strong point anyway.
I get it, but what I'm saying is there comes a point where your offense has to put some points, man. Your offense got to put some points on the board at home. That's all I'm saying.
It was even. True. They were even on offense. I'm just saying I put a little bit of credence on the Bears defense. They were in Chicago. There's no excuse.
I still think Trubisky has a very bright future in the NFL.
I do too.
I think that when this year started, and I saw what he did last year, and when this year started, I was like, yo, this team could be a legit sleeper team. And I mean, they were real close. I mean, you're basically a tip field goal away from going to the next round, and they would have played New Orleans, and who knows what happened then. You know, I mean, even though what was Jason Peters, the tackle who held Khalil Mack, he held him down pretty good, but the Saints' offensive line isn't that good to stop that front seven, so it would have been real interesting.
My question:
nice to see Mack move around a little bit too.
Right.
My question is, what has happened to the run game of the Chicago Bears? That's my question.
I think the Eagles happened. I think the Eagles did a pretty good job of stopping the run.
No, but they haven't ran the ball effectively in weeks. I mean,
well, that is true. That is true.
I mean, early on when they were dominating, they were running the ball well. Trubisky was making throws when he needed to make throws, but the whole game wasn't on his shoulders. I'm looking at these stats, and you got Tariq Cohen only had 1 carry.
That was
for 0 yards.
Get more touches.
Yeah, and then Jordan Howard, 10 carries for 35 yards. It's like that's not going to get it done.
No, with those two backs back there, they both need to get at least. I say they need to at least get almost 25 touches total, or at least one of them need to have like 20 touches, and the other one needs to have like 10.
But
those two running backs are that good.
But you know what? The way the Eagles were like shuffling their line, it almost made it impossible to pinpoint which one you could double team or whatnot. Because if you double team one of their linemen, either Bennett was coming around, and then what's the name? I forgot his name. 91 was just out muscling the man in front of
Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher Cox.
He just, if you can't handle a person one-on-one, then that means you have to send a double team towards his way. But the thing is, who you double team, and especially they were starting to line up Bennett on the inside.
Yeah,
I'm just like.
I think the front seven of the Eagles did a pretty good job holding in that run game down. So I agree. I mean, I think with the Bears at the end of the day, when you look at when the season comes up, I think they need to get another receiver and they need somebody on that line. I think they'll be fine if they at least address those two issues.
How about this? I say they go after AB.
You think so?
I say they go after AB, man. I mean, he's going to get traded. I don't see any way he can come back to that franchise. He's going to get traded somewhere. And I don't think they want to trade him within the conference. Definitely not to a contender. So
definitely not the division.
Yeah, I think the Bears could go after him and and see what they. I mean, just imagine you pull off one blockbuster trade for Khalil Mack, and then the very next season you pull off a blockbuster trade for AB. That would be crazy.
Who would they give up though?
Who do they give up? You might have to part ways with.
With a couple of draft.
They don't have any assets.
You got to part ways with probably Jordan Howard. I would say they probably need another running back. If they're not,
I don't know.
I mean, I'll take AB and Cohen.
I'll take AB and
Cohen's nice, but I don't know if Cohen's that dude that can hold the ball like that.
Well, yeah, that's true too. DJ, the picks, there's still opportunity for you to trade the picks. So I mean, I don't know. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. The Bears don't have any picks. They gave all their picks to them.
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah, that's right. So they're stuck. Oh well.
That's why I say I think they just need to get a decent receiver out of the. They need to get a decent receiver out of the draft and get a lineman.
Well, who do you think? Like honestly, where would you? I won't say where do you think AB is going to go because right now everything's up in the air. But where would be the best place for him to go? Do y'all think?
Hold on, before we say that, I think G-Rob is right. He said that Jordan had 100+ yards versus the Vikings, but Coach Nagy will abandon the run in a heartbeat. Now, I've noticed that for at least a year now that he will do that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, that's where you get Mitch Trubisky scrambling all over the place.
Definitely.
Yeah, we have a coach in Washington that'll do that too.
Yeah, where AB will end up? Oh goodness.
Don't let him go to the Chiefs. That's all I'm saying.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't be surprised if they ship his ass down to the Dolphins, or they would ship him down to the Cardinals.
He's going to an NFC team.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they want him in the same conference either.
What do y'all think about the Cowboys?
No.
They already gave away their first round pick.
But
they have things to give away besides the first round pick, though.
No, but no.
I get it. They do, but I don't see him going to the Cowboys.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I say it's not so much about where do you think he's going. Where do you think it's best for him to go?
Oh, where do I think it's best? Honestly, I'm gonna tell you
because that's why I said the Chiefs. I thought about that,
and that's where I say. And a lot of people may think I'm crazy. That's why I say the Cardinals come in because you got Larry already there. You got Rosen, who needs somebody to throw to as well.
David Johnson.
And you got Cliff. Isn't Cliff Kingsbury down there now?
Yeah, he's their coach now. And then you got David Johnson.
You got David Johnson. I think that's where that would be a good fit. The Panthers, yeah, but I mean, you got Cam Newton to overthrow him.
What about Tampa?
That
could be the pickup that straightens out Jameis Winston.
Yeah, but they already have two big time targets that he can't throw, so you just add another one.
Though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but hold on,
Deshaun Jackson's there. Mike Evans.
He's supposed to be leaving though, right?
What was that?
He's trying to leave. He's trying to get up out of there.
Yeah, I heard it. I think this is last year, or something like that on his contract.
I don't think AB. I don't think that will fix Jameis Winston. I actually
nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to fix Jameis. Nothing. You got what you got with Jameis, and the fact that Bruce Arians right here saying that he's going to circle that team around him. I think it does well for Jameis, but I don't think you're going to get anything extra out of Jameis.
One thing I would like to see is Deshaun Jackson come back to Washington. I would like to see that.
That wouldn't be a bad fit.
Who's going to be throwing the ball?
That's the question. I want to know who's going to be your quarterback going forward. Because I don't see Alex Smith coming back. That injury.
Well, we have to draft. We have to go into the draft for that. I don't trust any of the free agent quarterbacks.
Speaking of that, y'all know Haskins from Ohio State is coming into the draft.
Yeah, and I heard on Instagram he teased what he would look like in a Redskins uniform.
Man, you know what y'all need to do? Y'all need to just tank and get Tua the next draft.
No.
Man, I'm
no.
Tua. I'm not gonna say that he ain't NFL ready, but I mean, I think we just pump the brakes a little bit. That's all.
We got one more year to see.
Wait a minute,
yeah, because after what I saw this last half of the season, yeah, he was okay, but like I said, I think he got exposed a little bit. Yeah, I think Bruce Arians, like Chris Thomas said, Bruce Arians would do a good job, circling the team around Jameis or fitting the team around Jameis, but I don't think Jameis is going to elevate any higher than where he is. I don't see that.
They need a run game too. That's another thing they need. They need a run game. They
haven't been the same. They haven't been the same since Doug Martin was there.
Damn, man. Yo, I hate to say it, but the Colts got so much damn money over there. They could pay him. They're not paying anybody.
Yeah.
It was a low budget.
And if Le'Veon signs, that'll make it even.
That's another interesting one. Like trying to figure out where he's going to go.
I think they're saying the Colts right now, and I completely and utterly buy it. I originally wanted to see him on the Eagles, but I could see him going to the Colts at this point. It seems like it.
Yeah, because they actually have a line now to actually protect. So that would be.
Speaking of that kid Nelson, bro.
Yeah.
You see what he did to Davion Clowney? Yeah. Oh my God.
He made him look like a damn chicken. That's what he did.
Damn chicken.
Speaking of that, before we get into the couple little topics, and we're gonna do our first giveaway. What do y'all think about Deshaun Watson in that situation that clown? And I didn't want to talk about him, but it just crossed my mind. That stupid clown put on Twitter about he should be in distraught because he lost his playoff game, but he was on Twitter or Instagram or something celebrating with his Clemson Tigers who just blew out Alabama. What do you guys think about that?
I think he's a dumbass.
I think it's a dog whistle.
I think he's just a fucking loser with a verification tag on his Twitter.
Well, see, I wouldn't even go there because he is a legit businessman, but he's not.
Fuck that. Trump is a businessman.
I wouldn't go to him for advice on anything athletic. I just say
I wouldn't go to him for an opinion. Not even advice. I wouldn't even ask him who you think's gonna win the game tonight.
All right. So the people who are in the chat or listening to the podcast, if y'all don't know who we're talking about, I can't remember the guy's name, but some guy put out on Twitter that Deshaun Watson should be training for next year because he lost his playoff game, not celebrating with his alma mater who just beat Alabama 41-16 or 44-16 or something like that.
44-16.
So like. Yeah, so it's like he should be moping around about the loss in the playoffs, but his school just beat Alabama handily, and he's out there celebrating with them.
Patrick Bet David.
Yeah,
I don't care about that.
Up the DM.
Motherfucker sound like he bet on Alabama. Sorry ass.
Sound like he need to bet on his life.
Wow.
No, it's just fucking ridiculous, man.
Yo, I hate when people do that shit. Like they act like athletes are supposed to wallow in their sorrow and shit for the next however many weeks and then get back in the gym as if they didn't play a 17+ game season.
But you know what? The quote the tweet that got me in the replies, it was him replying to everyone else who was getting on him, was that he was saying it's a mindset. A playoff loss to an overachiever, it's like a loss of a loved one. I was just like, nah, you don't want to do that. You don't want to say that. Because
I mean he can take an L on that one because that's just fucking terrible. But I'm just saying I can see like we talked about it earlier. I can see if he was doing something stupid. Or if he was doing something that really was like out of character,
right?
Or something like that, like I said, like if he was like hanging out with a bunch of women, or he was out there hanging with the wrong crowd. I get it, but I mean that's your school. That's where you can you go and play the game with these. I didn't say you go and play the game. You played the game with some of these guys who are on that team, so there's nothing wrong with going back to root for them. I mean, it's not like. I don't get it. The Bucks Rockets game should be fine. Absolutely. Antetokounmpo is looking nice right now. And James Harden traveling ass just scoring all over the place.
I was about to say.
Hold on. Speaking of that. Okay. See, now
before you go there, one of y'all pick anybody in the chat that y'all want to get any one of these cards. Just pick it and just have them to follow us on Twitter, and I'll send it to their DM or whatever.
Can I also pick which one can catch these hands?
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
It don't matter. Whoever want to pick. I don't want to pick. I want one of you guys to pick each one. So
I'm trying to do it randomly. But yeah, let's ask a trivia question. The first person supposed to answer, they get it.
Okay, go ahead. Who got the question? Because I got a question, but I don't want to
I'll give a softball question for the first one. Let's.
I thought about this earlier, and I got a really good question, but I wanted you guys to put it out there.
You have one in your head, DJ? You want me to go?
I got one.
Okay.
In Super Bowl memory, who holds the record for the most rushing yards in a single game?
Oh shit! I know that one.
I know, right?
Of course, you know that one.
All right, folks, who is it?
Yeah, let us know, and whoever one of y'all just look at the chat. I'll check the chat too, and we can go and continue to talk.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, the question was in Super Bowl history, who has the most yards in a game?
Most rushing yards.
Most rushing yards in a game.
In a single game.
Rushing yards in a game for Super Bowl?
Yep. It's the NFL record as we speak.
Mm-hmm. Been up for a long time. I'll tell you that much.
Yep. Still standing.
I'm kind of shocked that it's still standing. I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked.
Yeah, I'm about to say the way this league is gone, it's gonna stay there for quite some time.
Hey,
there we go.
I was about to say,
congratulations to Neff. Neff got it.
Neff one got it. Okay,
Marshall Faulk. What?
Oh God, Marshall Faulk.
Serious?
Hey, you know what he get with that? You know what he get for that?
What?
Right there.
Condom.
That's what.
He said a condom.
Which card you want? You want the PlayStation or the Xbox one? I don't even know if I'm following Neff on Twitter. If not, I need to.
Oh, shit. I think he hasn't tweeted in a while, but I'm sure his Twitter's on there.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm a full one now.
Xbox, you said VF.
You want Xbox? Okay. All right, y'all go ahead and I gotta type this in so I can catch them so I can send it.
Oh boy. I mean, we could have asked just the Eagles trivia question for you, Pooh, but I mean, obviously that wouldn't be fair for everybody else. So
yeah, because technically my question, I don't see any Redskins fans in the freaking chat anyway. So I knew that one was gonna be up there.
Neff, what's your Twitter? Because I'm looking for it. I can't find it.
You don't have
Twitter. You just said.
What did it say? Oh, you don't have a Twitter. That's why he used to have one. Mm-hmm. Okay, Neff, I'll send it to you. I can send it to you. Damn, what thing called? Don't they still have
email?
No, not the email from the.
Come on, put it together.
No, they used to have a messenger on YouTube where you can message people directly.
I think they might still have.
I don't know if they still have it anymore.
Hold up, let me see.
I can look right now.
Possibly, or the little 3 dots, because.
No, that's only for.
No, but then you mean like an inbox?
Yeah, they used to have inbox.
So I'm trying to figure out. Hey Neff, are you on Facebook by any chance?
Just the general NFL questions are more challenging. Okay, hold on. I got a trivia question for y'all then. Got a trivia question for y'all.
Okay. And this one, I think this one is for the other.
No. We're gonna do that one later in the show. But I just got he's talking about just trivia.
Okay.
Yeah, because see, I'm on this channel now, but I don't think they have that thing anymore where you can send them a direct message or a YouTube message.
It says YouTube. That's saying YouTube Messenger. I'm like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They used to have it, but I don't see it anymore. But I'll send it to you.
Let me see.
If I find it.
I know they have alerts.
You got Google Messenger, don't you? Because this is YouTube. This is Google. So you got an email address.
Yeah.
The email address works.
Yeah, email address works. Absolutely.
I'm like, we ain't that stuck in the past.
So in the meantime,
yeah, go ahead.
I would say, oh god, send it to his MySpace, right? Send it on AIM.
Black Planet.
Black Planet account. Oh shit.
Oh no.
But yeah, so DJ, what do you think gonna happen with these games this week? We got the Cowboys versus the Rams, we got the Eagles versus the Saints, we got the Patriots versus the Chargers, and we got the Chiefs versus the Colts.
Well, I'm squarely focused on that Cowboys-Rams game because I was the one several podcasts ago that said that the Rams were in for a surprise. Now, it didn't matter who it was. I figured the Rams were going to get in the playoffs and be one and done. As much as I hate the Cowboys, and I really do hate them, the Cowboys will probably advance to the NFC Championship, and we're probably going to see it. See, my whole thing is that if we see an NFC East, NFC Championship matchup, that's just more reason to grind at Daniel Snyder to just sell the team. But I do see the Saints winning on the other end, so it'll probably be like a Cowboys-Saints matchup. So that'll probably be better for ratings anyhow.
Yeah, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about this this Patriots game. I really am. The Chargers have lost one time this year on the road. One. They're activating.
Could you make the case that every game they had was a road game?
Yeah,
because they don't have home.
More or less. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, because
that's true.
It's like what, 20,000 at a game? Yeah.
But I mean, Hunter
it's like
Henry
a hockey stadium attendance max.
I know, right? But Hunter Henry, their starting tight end who tore his ACL right before OTAs, or the first day of OTAs, he's being activated this week. Now,
oh damn.
That's another reason why I'm worried. This defense to me is fool's gold right now. They're playing well, but I don't see them playing that well against the Chargers because, like I said, on the road they seem to have this chip on their shoulder. And if we're not able to run the ball, I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be really hard to beat the Chargers. So I think I might actually be going with the Chargers in that game. I think I'm taking the Colts over the Chiefs. I'm taking
that.
I'm going to reluctantly take the Saints over the Eagles, and I'm going to take the Cowboys over the Rams.
I think there's two upsets. I think the Cowboys and what's the other one? The Eagles who win their games. I would not be surprised.
So then 3, because you got the Colts too, unless you don't count that as an upset.
I don't count it as an upset because I already told you that the Chiefs was fool's gold.
And plus the Colts have beaten the Chiefs in the playoffs before.
Yeah. I already found them as fool's gold, so I don't find that as an upset. But I'm with DJ. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't say with DJ, but what DJ said earlier, I would not be surprised if it's an NFC East NFC Championship game. I think that would be you talking about ratings through the roof. My God.
I think psychologically, the Chiefs definitely don't have the advantage because the last time we saw them face the Colts came back from 20-something points, and Andrew Luck was the quarterback of that team, by the way. Andy Reid was definitely the coach of the Chiefs back then. So it's like they have, I mean, and then you go all the way back to when the Chiefs had the number 1 seed overall, I think, and they faced the Colts.
Yeah, they do.
And I'm saying back in 03 or 04 when they faced the Colts in like one of the coldest playoff games ever. Right. And the Colts beat them in Arrowhead.
Yeah, then the Colts came back to beat them when Alex Smith was the quarterback. They were like down by like 20-something or 30-something points.
24 points.
Yep. And then Andrew Luck fumbled and then picked the ball up and ran it right through.
Right.
And took the lead.
Neff, let me know what is your gamer tag on Xbox. I can send it through you. I can send it to you on there. If you let me know, because I got.
It says, okay. Chris Thomas asks, "How do y'all feel if college football increases their playoff bracket?" Well, I think they're not going to do it till 2025. They claim. I would be in favor of it.
I don't think if they do it by 2025, I think it should be 8 teams then. But right now, I think they should have did what we said a couple episodes ago. They should have had 1 and 2 have a bye and just have 6 teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, we look back at it now, it looks like a bunch of bullshit. But at the time, Georgia and Ohio, was it Ohio State?
Yeah.
Yeah, Georgia and Ohio State was deserving at the time, even though they lost. Even though Georgia lost, they still looked like one of the best teams at that time. So if it was 6 teams in at that time, yeah. But
I think you a bit late for that UCF. They got their ass kicked, didn't they?
Well, I ain't gonna say they got their ass. I think they just got beat because
I don't remember. I didn't watch the game.
They hung with LSU for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah, they hung with LSU for them. I actually watched that game. They actually hung with them.
Their quarterback got hurt too, so I can.
Yeah, now see, if Melton was playing and didn't break his leg, LSU could have possibly been in trouble. Like, seriously.
Mm-hmm.
That dude was nice.
What you think, DJ?
This is what I was thinking. I've just figured it out in my own head. The top 10 teams go at it. The first two will have a bye. They will have a multiple week bye where the 8 teams from 3 all the way through 10 will battle it out until there's a final 2, and then the lowest seed out of the 2 will face number 1, and the second highest seed will face the number 2, and then that'll be your final 4.
Now here's my question: would that mean that you would have to start the season earlier? Because it seems like what they like to do is they like to get these games out of the way before the NFL playoffs start, so they're not really battling for ratings per se.
You just use the current bowl system, or you use the current bowls that are in place to play these games.
But you would have to realign the bowls though, because
not really.
Well, I mean,
those aren't the main bowl games that we're going to use, because the Final Four is going to be the last 2 bowl games or last 2 bowl game sites that are going to be used.
Y'all go ahead and keep talking. I'm sending this thing to Neff right now.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Yep. Even Chris Thomas says use some of the bowl games. That's what I'm looking at. Instead of having, because who really watches some of these teams that are playing in these bowl games?
That's true.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, you're right, because if it wasn't for
December,
if it wasn't for Georgia Southern, I wouldn't have been watching none of them.
No, that's true. I didn't think about the bowl season starting that early, because I don't really pay attention to those bowls that they have like right.
Yeah, they usually start right after like most of the college semesters in for the fall. So you're talking about mid-December when most of those games start up, and you're talking about like,
that's true.
Joe Schmo State University versus James Schmo University and whatnot. And it's just like, who cares?
Yeah, I mean, I think it would bring some of those prestigious bowls back that people don't really watch anymore. I mean, Orange Bowl used to be important.
Yeah, Orange Bowl used to be
the Rose Bowl used to be important. I can't remember the last time the Rose Bowl actually got the national championship, by the way. It's been a while. So, yeah, I can see it.
I think these bowl games really mean something. Just have the top 10 teams go at it, and those 8 will battle each other, and all the way until there's 2 left in that 8, and then they take on the top 2. I believe the top 2 deserve to have all that time off, and then they face whoever comes out of the bye.
I'll tell you, those top 2 teams wouldn't be very happy about that.
Yeah, they'd be all right.
No, I definitely agree, because see, the thing is, once you add in 10 teams, there are plenty of teams that people might say don't have an argument to make it into a top 6 or a top 8. Top 10, everybody gets in that you pretty much would think would have a chance to vie for a national championship. After that, if you're 11, 12, 13, sorry. You know what I'm saying? Right. I think 4 isn't enough, though.
Yeah, because here's the thing. What was the point of the let's see, outside the Final Four, the 2 that they put in there, what was the point of that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think 4 is enough either. I think they knew that too, but it's more of a situation where they tried to test the waters. Because I think 8 or 16 would be nice, because you got to think about it. You never know what team will get hot at certain times, and you got the NBA. You have an NBA. You have the college basketball have 64 teams, and some of those teams that you never heard of actually end up upsetting teams, and it's actually more exciting.
I think the top 4 was a way for them to push teams in that don't exactly deserve to make it, but because they're a big name, they push them in. And I think evidence of that is what they've done in past years with the way they put these teams in. There's been so much debate about these 4 teams pretty much every year in the playoff, and the reason is because it's like, if you don't have a clean-cut one-loss team, then they could easily just throw a big name one-loss team in there because – it's Alabama. Of course you got to throw them in. That's what people were trying to get them to do with Georgia this year. It just didn't work out.
Right.
So.
Yeah, man. No problem, Neff. No problem. I got another question about college football and it ties with the NFL. And I want you guys' thoughts about it. I think this is very interesting. And I want everybody in the chat who's listening, I want them to participate in this too. Now, you know the catch rule in the NFL in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would y'all like one foot down in the NFL or 2 feet down in college?
2 feet down in college.
Think 2 feet down in college, only because when you go backwards with rules, it kind of spits in the face of players who had to get 2 feet down for all those years. When you see how these guys get 2 feet down these days,
let me know what you guys think.
Amazing.
Let me know what you guys think in the chat too. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because 1 foot down isn't really hard. 2 feet though, the way some of these dudes are able to get 2 feet in is just amazing.
Yeah,
I think there needs to be a separation at the pro level.
I think in the confines of sports is basically showing off your skills. And I think that it shows off your skills if you're able to put 2 feet down inbounds and catch a ball. And I think like these guys in college got to learn it anyway. So why not give them 2 feet? Make it a rule where it's 2 feet in college. So when they go to the NFL, it's already, is already implemented. I think 2 feet. I think that's the way it should be. What you think, DJ?
Well, being a wide receiver, I've always practiced with 2 feet down from high school all the way up through semi-pro. So it's
same.
That I'm like, I've had some spectacular catches in the back of the end zone where I was able to, like, it's funny because it is a skill that not everyone can do it. But it's just like, I remember having a catch where I had to get 2 feet in bounds where it was just like, I jumped up in the air, got real high, caught the pass, and was able to look down to see where I was at. And then just to put in, all it is just the tip of your toes.
Yep. Right.
If you drag it, it's good. And then just maintain control of the ball.
Yeah.
I'm like, for a receiver to process all that, that's a lot going on all at one time. And in order to be the best of the best, you got to be able to handle all that.
I think
it would cheapen the
I completely agree, because it's like, I think that I would feel the same way about them increasing the shot clock in the NBA. You, as a pro, need to be able to get a shot up within 24 seconds, period.
I think if they move it up to 30, I think that'd be pretty cool.
I think
it's 35 in college, so
that's what I'm saying. I don't like moving it up. I would rather it stay where it is.
Move it up.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would put in 1 foot in the NFL. I would feel the same way about them moving up the shot clock in the NBA. I think it would put a damper on how difficult it is to get into your offense within 24 seconds. You got to remember, you got to dribble the ball up the court too.
Yeah, you got to get past the court in 8
seconds anymore.
Well, and that's another thing. Teams aren't using. So just imagine how much the game would suffer if I know some people. I think if the shot clock is up to 30 seconds, I think there'll be more ball movement. Well, another thing is, I don't think there would. I think it would be wasted. So? I think it would be wasted.
Scoring would go down.
That's interesting.
And the money that scoring produces would go down too.
And games would go way longer, because here's the thing. Now you got to consider, what if you get an offensive rebound? What's it resetting to? 20 then, right?
I will agree. Now, if you do get an offensive rebound, it should reset to 24. But I think the initial.
Whoa, no.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
I think it was an improvement that they did by making it 14.
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's the thing. All right. Now back up, because call me ignorant, because I honestly don't know. Mm-hmm. So when there's an offensive rebound, the shot clock goes back to 14.
They changed it. Yeah, they changed it.
Now I can honestly say I did not know that. I'm dead serious. I did not.
I think it might have been this year though, so I can give you a break on that.
Now, here's
okay. I see what you're saying. I'm dead serious. I did not know that.
Now, I have a question as far as the game. Well, obviously, I know NBA 2K implemented that change. Did Live implement that change?
I haven't even paid attention, honestly.
Well, if they haven't implemented injuries in game, I wouldn't.
I knew that was coming. Shut up, DJ, man.
But as far as
I see what you guys are saying with the shot clock. Yeah. I really think that, like Pooh said, he feel like it's too much time in it to slow the game down. I'm thinking that the shot clock will be implemented more because you'll have more team play and more ball movement because you don't have enough of that in the NBA anymore. But I totally understand where you guys are coming from, though.
Well, the thing is, VF, I think the reason why it's 35 seconds in the college is because of the fact that they run a lot more exotic zones and 1-3-1s and 2-3s and 3-2s.
I think with the shot clock being implemented, I think the NBA will try to implement that on top of it.
People would hate that because I know plenty of people who don't watch college basketball because they say it's boring.
Man, college basketball is the shit, though, man.
I love college basketball.
Hold up. I just know this much. If you're out in the street playing that many zone defenses, you get laughed at. So
you do.
Well, that is true.
NBA,
you do.
Really, the base of your zone would be just maybe 2-3, 3-2, and that's pretty much all you need.
Yeah,
if you want to run a zone, but other than that, the shot clock should stay at 24.
Okay. I think 24. I think 24 is good. I think 14 off of offensive rebound is actually pretty good because half the time these teams don't even earn those offensive rebounds. They just kind of leak back out to the guy who shot the ball in the first place, and then it's like you get a whole 24 seconds to have another horrible possession. It's like it's just I think. It makes the game go by quicker, but also it makes these teams get a bit more creative about how they're going to get a shot up after getting the shot clock. So
yeah, y'all got me convinced because I was more thinking of one way, but you guys got made a pretty good case of that. But so
let me ask you a question though. So let's stay on this topic because this is interesting. I like this rules topic. So do you think they should allow hand checking again?
Yes.
Yeah, I can say yes.
Yes.
Do you think they should allow hand checking to the level that it was back then, though?
You think?
I think so.
I think early 2000s defense was fine.
Yeah.
I think 90s and 80s defense, early 90s and late 80s defense was. I don't know.
That defense.
If you think about it, if you think about it, you allow people to hand check from that time period in the 2000s, not the 90s, but the 2000s, and now you have zone defense on top of that. I think it's a marriage that could work.
I think it definitely will work, but I think the 80s version is the one I disagree with because, I mean, so
80s version, they were elbowing people.
Yeah, they were.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you put your elbow into people's back in the post, and you're literally shoving people on the perimeter. So it's like, I think, what is G-Rob saying? What about NFL?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
That would be interesting.
It's a
the reason why I think that'll be interesting because you got to think about it. The way that some plays are in the NFL they're very interesting to watch, and it's very interesting to see when they actually are drawn up or when they call a play. So when there's a first down, and let's say if it's 30 seconds left, yeah, it's cool sometimes to see people scrambling and running up, but I think you get a higher quality of football.
I was going to say that. That's exactly what I was going to say. I think the quality would increase. I do like the scrambling around, having to.
It's exciting.
It's exciting, but I can definitely see where the quality of the game would go up.
Because what happens is everybody's scrambling to get on sides and run a quick play. Then all
you got players standing in front of the offensive players.
Yeah,
I saw that last week.
Yeah, and then when they hike the ball, the defensive player's out of position, so they'll get a flag on some bullshit.
Yeah,
because they're not set up properly, and then it just changed the entire aspect of the game. But if they stop the clock and run a play, the defense will get set, the offense will get set, and it's man up, So I think that's a great one.
Another thing that people have been wanting, and I completely disagree, is they want to bring the college overtime rules to the NFL, and I completely disagree.
Ooh,
I don't like that. I don't like the college overtime rules. That's just me.
I don't either.
I think you have to be a serious fan of scoring if you like.
Yeah, I'm about to say because I'm about to sound like a straight up hypocrite right now because I like the methodical side of stopping the clock first downs, but the college overtimes, man, them things be super exciting for real.
They're exciting, but I just, I think you got to keep the essence of football to a certain extent in the overtime period because, it's like you're pretty much handing teams the ball on the 25-yard line.
But if it's in the NFL, what if they start at the 50? I get it. It doesn't sound. It's not cool to do it because, like what we just talked about the first down situation. But if they did, they couldn't start at the 25. If they started at 25, the defense would be handicapped every time. You'll have like probably like 110 to 115 type overtimes.
I didn't even like when they said if you score a field goal and you got the ball first, the game keeps going. I didn't like that either. Because my thing is, look, if your defense can't get a stop and stop us from kicking a field goal, that's not our problem.
Yeah, but
that's scored first.
But that's the whole point. If you allow a touchdown, then you don't deserve another chance. If you allow a field goal, that's kind of like you see it in regulation where it's just like, oh, they held them to a field goal. That's a win for the defense.
Yeah, but it's still points.
I would continue to reward them until but of course keep it to where like, okay, each team had a possession, and then all of a sudden it's just like, okay, well, whatever happens next happens. It's sudden death for real.
Yeah.
Because it used to be sudden death right out the gate. You might as well have the old rules then, if that's what you favor.
How about you just don't allow them to kick a field goal? That would be entertaining. Just say, look, once it gets to fourth down, if you're in the red zone, you know how many teams we've seen get to like the 30 and they're like, oh yeah, we just got to run the ball 3 times. Like, nah, you can't kick a field goal.
But you know what? I did propose something like a while ago in a few like podcasts ago where it was just like it would liken to the NHL shootout portion. Like after a certain time, they would just have a field goal challenge and see whose kicker really has the golden foot.
Right.
And just like if they match each field goal, they move them back 10 yards. And just
I say you put each quarterback and their best receiver in each corner on the goal line and throw a fade route. Whoever for 4 straight downs. And whoever, if they score, then they win. Or I guess your team gets a chance. If y'all don't score, then boom, there you go. It's over. That would be funny. They should do that in the Pro Bowl, though. I don't think they should do that.
I was thinking that because I remember one time, what was it? No, it was the Hall of Fame speech or something, a Hall of Fame game or something like that, and they weren't able to play. And I think some commentator came up with a great idea to get some of the legends that were going into the Hall of Fame. I think it was the same time when Brett Favre was going in or something like that. They came up with this idea to like get the legends out there to like who can throw the football into a trash can 40 yards or 50 yards down the field, just to give the fans something to watch because the field was so bad they couldn't play the game.
Yeah, I remember that.
I think that would have been an excellent idea. So I agree. And I think that's something that they don't really talk about it. I don't even think they do it anymore. Remember in the Pro Bowl when they used to have like the quarterback challenges when they have to hit the
they have a smaller version of it now, but it's whack. Honestly,
it used to wear. I remember how you see back in the day, man. It used to have like
world's fastest man, NFL.
Yeah, the fastest man. Which quarterback can hit the targets?
Hands competition.
Yeah, you used to have all at the field goal competition.
But yeah, they had the Legends flag football game, which was my favorite.
Because what's his name? The Georgia alumni that used to play for the Patriots, Robert Edwards, like broke his leg doing that or something. I remember.
Oh yeah, Michael Irvin played in a bunch of them, and it was fun. But this hand checking thing, I just think with zone defense today, if you let the guys be a bit more physical on the perimeter, this game would pretty much be in a really good spot.
Yeah.
I don't like how it's going. I mean, there's too many points being put on the board. It's looking like the 1970s out there.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. Y'all got anything else about the rules or whatever? Because there's one more topic I want to talk about before we close it out. I can't believe, like, when we do the old way, how we did our the podcast old way, it was like we were like set on a time, and by the time that hour, a little bit over an hour ago, we were done. But with this live stream, it's like it pushed it. Like, look, we're already at an hour and a half, and I appreciate everybody who came through to watch us and listen to us, man. I mean, at one point, we honestly thought that we were going to be the only 3 here doing live stream.
we definitely did.
Yeah, cause we didn't think, but if you happen to want to come back and listen to the live stream on after the live stream is up, if you don't want to use YouTube, you can always follow us on iTunes or SoundCloud. Definitely subscribe there. It helps us to get more exposure so more people can listen, so we have more interaction with you guys. So the links is down in the description of this live stream, and hopefully you guys continue to follow us and support. I didn't say this earlier, but Houston 224, man, appreciate you coming through. He's always been a supporter of us from day one.
From day one.
So I appreciate him. But I sent y'all this link earlier about this guy.
Oh my God.
34 years old. And I'm gonna put the link. I'm gonna put the link in the chat so everybody else can see this.
Read along.
Yeah, so you can read along and y'all can have y'all thoughts about this as well.
And get your Star Wars character references ready.
Yeah, so check that link out, and we're going to talk about what this here is.
We're gonna call this portion of the show fat shaming. No, I'm joking.
34-year-old man who spends all day playing video games naked. He vows that he will eat till he die. Now he moved in with his dad, and it's basically what he does. I didn't even read the entire the article. I don't want to read it. All I know that they said he's unemployed. He's living with his father, and his dad has to wait on him hand and foot. Fuck all of that. That shit ain't happening.
No, hold on. Read the quote. Read the quote that he said. Get up at 12.
Right under it.
Get up at 12.
Yeah, he said a normal day for me is to wake up at around 12, figure out something that I'm going to eat immediately, and then video games in bed. It's not a lot of activity. I will just eat until I'm dead. Fuck that. Bro, what the hell is going on around here?
Wait. Here's another one. Okay, check this out. He said, it's hot in Georgia, and all my clothing is restricting and tight.
Oh my God, he has to be from Georgia, huh?
Free as can be, and no one bothers me. Doors shut, we're good.
Oh my God.
Read that again. Read that again, DJ, because I cut you off. I'm reading it now, but I want everybody else to see it, to listen to it.
Okay. So he basically says, it's hot in Georgia, and all my clothing is restricting and tight. I just sit there naked, free as can be, and no one bothers me. Doors shut. We're good.
No, nobody. Yo, look at this picture of this guy. Oh my God!
Remind me of a certain Star Wars character.
No, you know what he looks like? You know what he looks like? He looks like melted vanilla ice cream.
Doesn't he have red hair? So wouldn't that be with the melted in?
Neff, man, I appreciate you coming through, man. Please come back to the next one. And if you can, man, please subscribe to us on iTunes and SoundCloud, man. Check us out. I appreciate you, man. But this story, man, this story is something serious.
Melted vanilla ice cream.
Yeah, he looks like melted vanilla ice cream. He really does.
Yeah, he reminds me of Jabba the Hutt.
He said that he said I'm accepted in all those virtual reality worlds and in the gaming world that I'm in. No one sees me. That is my outside. That is my world that I can be the Casey I want to be, but not to be judged by my weight. Why don't you just get the fucking lose some weight so you can be the Casey that you really need to be, so your ass won't die when you're 40? I mean, I'm not trying to fat shame nobody, but this.
Wait a minute, hold up. The quote after that. I never would have thought at 34 I'd be living with my father and I have no job, have no real money, and just be playing video games all day and eating.
This is the dude that comes and dislikes our streams.
Yeah, it gotta be.
And they have fucking like an avatar of like some mountains or some shit.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, and I'm gonna say this, and I know this gonna catch some heat, but this shit crossed my mind, and I gotta say it. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the type of guy with that headset on, hit the share button, and break down Madden videos.
Oh, that'd be the reason he tore both his ACLs.
Oh, come on!
Oh shit! Oh shit! That's what. Oh, what's up, Hollywood Sports? Thank you for coming through, man.
Hey, what's up, Hollywood? What's up?
Oh,
no, but I'm
God.
just saying. I mean, you look at this shit. I had to see this. This is fucking horrible. Well, there you go, Pooh. There you go. There you go.
Oh my God.
All right, let's look at this article. Let's keep reading. Let's see what else we see.
Now, here's the thing. He is what they call 50 stones, which equates out to 700 pounds.
700 pounds.
My God.
Now, for me, I would have to look at this really closely because I am a certified personal trainer. All jokes aside, the one thing that it seemed like right out the back to help.
Is he wearing a headband?
Where? Hold on.
You see the video that's loading on the side of the screen? This motherfucker's wearing a headband.
Nah, I don't.
Nah.
There's a video that pops up on the side of the screen because I just went back to the article. So I might have closed.
Oh, yeah, see, because you
but
still
it
got
pops up.
Yeah, I killed all the pop-ups.
Meet the 700-pound gamer who says he'll eat till
it's in the picture. Oh. I see it. I see the headband.
Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Headbands.
Wait a minute. Is it no? Wait a minute. No. That's the headset. My fault. It looks like a headband, but it's the
white thing is the headset.
Like it's struggling.
Oh yeah, it's the thing to catch the sweat on top of the head. Yeah, that's a part of the headset. That's part of the headset.
Disgusting.
All right, let me go back to being serious for a moment because I am a certified personal trainer, and it's one of those things where
no, fuck that being serious. We'll get back.
No, I have to. No, see,
no, I gotta read this. Okay. Fuck that being serious. He said that. You know what? I'm gonna go to hell for this. He said,
"You are already in hell."
He said, I bathe outside in this trough currently because I cannot physically bathe and sit down in a bathtub or stand up in a shower. Because I'm a bigger guy, I have folds and flaps. I have to move around almost like a pig in a way. I have and wallow and roll over to get to the back of my leg. Yeah, I'm going to hell, man. I'm going to hell, man. I need to stop, man. I need to stop.
Not though. I'm trying to be serious, but how can I even follow that up? I'm trying to give us like some serious tips on how he can turn himself around. I know the first thing you had to do is just check his diet. That's like the basic thing. But it's
my God.
But it's just like
he said I need help a little bit to clean myself, because wiping I need help wiping just my ass because I can't reach everything on my back and I can't reach everything below me. So it's whatever. This motherfucker needs to put the fucking game down, man. Fuck that. He needs to put the game down.
Oh shit.
No, he needs to stop this. I'm not trying to be funny, man. But
you're not trying to be funny. Never mind.
DJ, go ahead. Let's hear your
I don't know how I can follow it up being serious. I know I chuckled a little bit. Well, I laughed at the beginning, and I chuckled a little bit too.
I put the link back down there because y'all missed it.
Oh.
It just seems like.
No, go ahead, DJ, because you are a personal trainer. You know more about this than I do.
It just seems like the first thing he has. Well, the first thing he already acknowledges that he has a problem.
Right.
He already just admitted that. So that's the first step. It seemed like he definitely would have to get surgery to at least get the excess off because it seemed like he wouldn't be able to do much. The little bit he can do, he would literally have to start with that.
Right.
To start and just, I would say crawl. Like there's stuff that he can do while he's sitting that can get him started. And it just seems like obviously he's not thinking about that. All he cares about is the fact that he wants to sit down, do nothing, play video games and eat. And it's really just changing his mentality, which that's actually the first thing that has to happen. He has to want to change from that because
I think the fact and it doesn't make it any better.
Even bigger than that.
Yeah, I think it doesn't make it any better because of the fact that he's playing video games. It gives him an incentive to continue to sit there and enjoy himself while he's doing more damage to his body.
Well, but here's the other thing: the enablers around him, his father.
Yes.
Yeah, because I was looking at some quotes that his father's like saying, yeah, it could be difficult, but it's not like he's actually doing anything about it. Because trust me, if this is my son, this is not happening.
Yeah, it's like, in order for a person to get to that point, someone else on the outside had to allow it to happen.
Right.
And that's the unfortunate part. And it's just like, whether I don't know this guy. I don't know his father. I don't know like the overall situation. He could have something medically. Well, obviously he has something medically going on. He's seriously obese, and his heart is not going to be able to take all that.
I'm glad you said that. Do you think it's a medical issue, or he just
it's either
to himself?
Well, okay, I'll put it out there. I'm not a doctor. I just think that if your mind is in that mindset, if you're in that mindset where you don't really care about anything else but to eat and play video games all day and not have the will to even think about your health, that's a serious psychological issue. And definitely with all that weight on him, it is a medical issue.
Okay.
Like his heart.
I can see your point.
That's why they say, like, traditionally tall people die first than short people. But if you're obviously overweight, your heart is pumping a lot of blood. And yeah, I'm like, Bills, you said it earlier, even though we were all joking, but this dude could die any day now.
Yeah, that's no joke. Seriously.
My thing is, okay.
That's why I said it's possible he may not make it to 40 if he keeps this up.
Well, here's my question is, do y'all know of anybody who has ever played any sport that would turn into that? Even played outside as a kid?
There's plenty, honestly.
The only person I can think of that actually got that big from playing sports, Jared Lorenzen was.
Jared Lorenzen, the first person.
Yeah, he was already that big though.
Yeah, because like I'm thinking, like if
you've been as big as he is now.
Yeah, that's true. He's a house now. You're right.
But if you've been active. Like, I just feel like if you've been active at some point in your life, like, naturally, you would never get that big.
I wonder what kind of job he had prior to that, because he said he got too big to work. I don't think he did a job that was actually physically, challenging. I'm just curious.
This is crazy, man.
I'm just mad at the people around him that allowed him.
It's not only that, it's just that the fact that he sits there and plays video games. That basically enables him to stay in one place and continue
all day.
Because the video game is like in some cases it's just as bad as eating, because it gives him an incentive to just sit there and not be active. You know what I mean?
You could get severe blood clots from sitting in the same spot for too long.
Yeah, there are a few people that have died from playing video games all day. Matter of fact, there was a Twitch streamer. He was doing a marathon. He died right after that live stream ended. He went for
20 hours. Yeah,
he
tried to do it 24 hours straight or something like that.
So that's why it's like every 15 minutes I get up and do. If I'm playing games, if I do a long session of gaming. Every 15 minutes, I'll pause the game, get up, stretch, move around, do stuff, and then just move right back on it. You got to keep yourself moving. That's the key.
You always have to keep yourself active. I totally agree with that. I agree with that. I don't know, man. To me, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, this is pretty sad to see a guy do this to himself. And even if it's medically related or not, it's just. Like you said earlier, it has to start with him for him to do something about it, And I hate to see anybody to go through something like this. We all could crack our jokes. I still think he needs to get up off his ass and do something. But I still think that at the end of the day, it's really sad when you look at the situation and be like, well, damn, he really is like basically killing himself. He said it. He said he'll be like this until he dies. It's not trying.
The issue is. Oh, what were you gonna say, DJ?
No, that's it.
No, I was gonna say, and the thing is, with people like this, sometimes you need folks that don't know them that will come and tell them the honest truth, because the closest people to them a lot of times don't want to tell them the honest truth.
Right.
So you need somebody from the outside that comes and can tell them the honest truth, tell him the honest truth and say, look, dude, like you gotta fix this shit. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I've had people in my family unemployed, weren't working, people scared to tell them. I said, look, dude, I don't really give a fuck about your feelings. I'm gonna tell you straight up what you need to hear, because you know the truth hurts sometimes.
I mean, as a family member, you have to do that. I mean,
you have to. You have to step in. You have to intervene.
Yeah, if you love them, you will tell them straight up what it is. I mean, you're not doing them a good service if you're just sitting there telling them what they want to hear. You know, and I think that's one thing. My wife, she loves watching like My 600-Pound Life, and she loves watching the intervention shows where the family really try to get somebody help, and they're just basically fighting. And it taught me, it was like, look, if somebody really cares about you, they will go through these lengths. They'll go through this length to tell you and actually, try to work with you to try to get stuff done for you to have a healthier life. And because if somebody didn't care, first of all, they probably wouldn't even be around you anyway, or they'll just keep feeding you the stuff that, to an extent, you could say this man's father like really don't care for him.
Big time enabler.
Yeah, exactly. Because if he really cared, he would have been taking that game about that room, or he would have been having him get out the house because he's staying with his dad. You need to get up and do something. You need to come to work with me, or you need to do something.
I usually see drastic weight gains like that. Depression sometimes leads to it. This is just a lack of motivation to do it.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's why I asked earlier with DJ. I was like, do you think it's a medical situation or it's something that is self-inflicted? The way this article comes off, it looks like, yeah, he gained enough weight to realize he don't have to work. He was like, fuck it, I'm just going to stay this way.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Just a lack of ambition.
Yeah. It's crazy. Anything else y'all want to add before we do this last giveaway? I don't have anything else. We do this another giveaway, come up with another question, and then we can just close it out. If y'all don't have a question, I got one.
All right, so my question, what he said, do you see the guy's family that is actually overweight?
Yeah, because it said his sister or cousin that was 650 pounds.
Jesus
as
Christ.
Well. I remember reading that part.
So you're probably looking at a situation where it could be possibly hereditary.
You would definitely think that maybe thyroid condition runs in the family, or that high blood pressure runs in the family, or
I mean, see that throws a whole monkey wrench in the whole thing. Now, if his sister's like that, because if it's just him, it'd have been like I said, he probably just said, "F it, I'm gonna do what I want to do." But now it looks like if his sister's like that too, it could be a situation where,
Now, diabetes runs in my family, and high blood pressure as well. I've tried my best to stay away from that. I mean,
heart disease runs in my family. So
I think
that's the thing. Folks think you got to be overweight to have high blood pressure. You don't.
No, you don't. No, absolutely not.
They'll do it.
Yeah, stress will do it. That's number one cause of a lot of health issues in general is just stress.
Stress, high salt intake.
Yeah.
Drinking too much soda, all kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, like that. I mean, I'm not, I don't know off the top of my head, but I know stress is one of the top factors in health-related issues, and you can be, just as healthy as the next person. But if you're stressing out, stress could do a lot of things to you.
Yeah.
What's the question we got for this last giveaway? We have a $20 gift card, $20 PlayStation Network card that we're going to give out if anybody can answer this question first.
So the question is, who is the third all-time leading scorer in the history of the NBA? We're talking total points, not per game.
I was going to say something, but that's going to get Bills mad. So
anybody who's watched the stream, this should be a drop in the bucket.
Yeah. It's NBA, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking it up because I don't know if off the top of my head. I can't remember.
Even though he's not third, but still, fuck him.
Oh God.
That's the biggest hint I've ever seen.
One day somebody's gonna come in the stream and be like, "What's your opinion on Karl Malone?" And that's just gonna set me off. Anybody? Somebody? Nobody want it? Hello. Yep. Pooh got it.
Okay, I'm about to say, I just have it in the look. All right, Pooh got it. All right,
Pooh. Then his question after that was,
this is your chance, Pooh. You can actually go into the PlayStation Network store and don't have to dream about a game that you want, and you don't have to bootleg it. You can buy something now. So I'll definitely send that to you.
Basically told that man he's broke.
That may have been pirating games for years.
Yeah, exactly.
Like proudly.
He didn't buy the Soldier Boy console. He talking about
I know, right?
Ripping off stuff. I think he could have got a console, all them old ass games for like $100-some. Probably got that next gen Soldier Boy console for easily like $200.
He needs to pirate Montana 16.
Oh god!
So we can see exactly what that was all about on consoles.
Yeah, exactly.
The Hennessy that he was drinking when he made that.
Fucking
all right, I'm about to send that to you right now. It's gonna be in your
same bar.
Don't make me pirate your PC. Why are you stupid? I'll send it to your DM on Twitter, so be on the lookout for that. Anything else y'all got before we close it out?
Well, I would like to say that this was I'll say this was a successful first live stream for the First and Framerates episode 50.
Yep.
Because basically, I know VFU talked about how it usually goes, but definitely it was the chat that kept us going, that extra. And that's what I expected was going to happen as far as when you do live stream. Me and Pooh have did a live stream before, and it was the chat that actually kept us going there too. So definitely appreciate the support for everybody that chimed in, that answered the questions, that asked questions, because this was a live Q&A. So thank you guys.
Yeah, definitely about the one about the rules. That was very interesting. Yeah, because that's that was interesting.
Oh, wait a minute, hold up. NY Kid didn't even ask any questions. He in the chat, but he didn't even ask any questions.
This was fun.
What's going on?
You can hear us talk anytime, NY.
Right.
Yeah,
we rasp more than this.
But don't be saying nothing when it's live unless it's Sim Standard.
Where's Smitty at?
Not on the football field.
Oh, come on, man.
Oh, man. Here we go again.
This is not the normal live stream where it's like everything's got to be clean. You know how we get down?
You already know. Nah, but NYK has been, he's been like the roll the red carpet out for him for this podcast for like at least, episode 12?
Yes.
And he just been sidestepping every single invitation. Like, he's been like in the Matrix, like doing the Matrix move, ducking him.
We don't got enough views for you, NY, huh? NY's that guy.
Is that it?
Nah, he's still good people, man. He always give us some good insight on stuff. And
definitely
the little channel and this podcast is, man.
Oh, he said he's playing a league game. Okay. Nah.
Oh yeah, I forgot. You also stream at the same time. You couldn't just pay attention to us. You couldn't wait to hold off that. I saw it earlier. I was about to say something. Jesus Christ.
Hey, G-Rob, man, I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I thought this was fun. I think honestly, we're going to talk about it once we finish broadcasting this, but I think this might be us going forward, because I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm gonna give you a little background. Bills and DJ notice I catch hell trying to edit and put up this podcast.
Last podcast was proof.
Yeah, podcast was proof. I mean, my God, with B5, if you guys knew the last 30 minutes of that podcast was just excellent. I put it into the editing software. The last 30 minutes is just gone. No reason why, it's just gone.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think this may be the standard going forward, but we're going to do some more discussions about how we're going to go about it. But definitely,
shout out to Cal Anderson.
No, absolutely not.
Pooh said in the chat, I should pirate the smoothie game. He said, "Oh shit, wait, that's NCAA 12."
Yeah, exactly. No, we don't give shout outs to people like that. I mean, I remember when Kyle had this vision when I was doing the discussions back on the Virtual Footballer channel. He had this vision that sounded so good, and it was something that you could buy into. But But when I saw what he did earlier, late last year, nah. This dude, play 11. I'm good.
Like a moving version of electronic football. That's what it looked like.
Yeah, he hit up Damon Grohl like, "What you think we should do?"
Oh God!
Damon Grohl's like, "Poor shot." I don't know.
But like I said,
the Hold My Beer right now, the Hold My Beer award currently goes to IMV Gaming.
That's what I was saying. Yeah. Those guys.
Yeah. No.
Anything else, man? I'm gonna go to close it out and you can give out our outros and call it a day.
Nah.
What about you, DJ?
G-Rob, you funny.
About to hop on his man to Montana.
That Montana Nectar mod of Montana.
Nectar mod, shit. Yeah, okay.
Shit, that shit need more than a damn mod. That shit
fucking Crown Royal mod.
Montana 16.
Yo, man, that screenshot, man. That screenshot.
Before that, remember J Music back in the day?
My God. 2K is gonna actually be back before we get that game. Like, damn, bro.
Yeah,
right. I remember that one time when J Music actually had that mod and Dollar Jr. got a hold of it, and Dollar like blew out this team like 116-7 or something like that. and Dollar was sitting there like, I think something's wrong with this mod.
Did Music talk about he had new features?
Yeah,
new features and stuff like that. And then he put him in the game for sabotaging his efforts because it's hard to
got a mod coming out. Oh, you got a mod, all right.
Oh, yeah, he got a mod, yeah.
He got a mod, all right.
Yeah, he got a mod.
Motherfucker he gonna put a hybrid of NCAA 12 and 13 and fucking put them side by side on the screen and say this was the before product of my game and this is the after. Like, fuck out of here.
Wait a minute. Wasn't Montana 16 a mod of Tron?
The VR version don't look like it, don't it? God. But I will give him credit. He did put out something. He put out.
Man, can we just get Backbreaker, man?
We need something.
Jeez.
I agree. Anyway, this is First and Framerates episode 50. We did episode 50 as a live stream to commemorate the 50th episode, but it looks like from here on out we're gonna go forward with this. I like this format.
This is interactive. I like this.
Yeah, because episode 1 through 29 was basically a recording that I just put up on YouTube. Episode 30 to 50 was I started to go on SoundCloud and iTunes. Episode 50 we're gonna be doing live stream. So who knows? Episode 75 might be something else. Who knows? But anyway,
might be doing this shit from a football stadium or something. Who knows?
Yeah, never know.
Possibly we'll be all in video.
Yeah.
You'll see us as we move around.
That'd be dope. Yeah, because
that are avatars.
Yeah, absolutely. Follow us on iTunes and SoundCloud. Like I said, it helps so people outside of YouTube could catch us, and it actually helps with more interaction with people. Coming into the live stream, so we have better views and interactions with people in the chat, and the guys who are in the chat can also interact with them as well. You can catch us on Twitter as well. I'm VF Baller, Bills is Bills 4th, and DJ is DJ81. All that stuff, all the information is down in the description of this YouTube live stream. And just catch us on Twitter if you're listening to this on the other platforms. Bills, you got anything else before we go?
Nah. We look forward to everybody who came in. Please bring a friend next time.
Yeah, definitely.
So we can have even more people in the stream. And it was great interacting with you guys.
What about you, DJ?
Oh, I already said that all. I led off with all that, so y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
All right, man. Thank you, Hollywood, for coming through. G-Rob, everybody else. Bastion, definitely thank you, Bastion, for coming all the way from Scandinavia, Norway, to listening to us. He said it was 1:30 in the morning when he was listening to us, and I don't even know if he stayed around for the whole time, but I appreciate that.
No, I think he said he was going to listen until he fell asleep, so he probably fell asleep, but thank you. Thank you.
Definitely. We didn't even know we were worldwide until today.
Crazy.
G-Rob, one more question. What's coming out first, Dr. Dre Detox or
shit,
or another kid? I'm going. We out, man.
Oh.
Peace, y'all
fucking Illmatic 2 will come out before that.
Exactly. All right, y'all take
Okay.
it.
What's up?
Oh my